The G20 meeting continues in Rio today. The gathering this Tuesday will see leaders discussing sustainable development and the transition to greener energy. The grouping will also be seeking ways to shore up efforts to tackle climate change, with Donald Trump's return to the White House set for January. The US president-elect has promised to frack, and drill, baby, drill. For more, we can go across to Onoszko standing by in Rio. Jan, good morning to you. Donald Trump is not there, but his shadow clearly is looming large, isn't it?
It certainly is. All the G20 leaders here are mindful that in just a few weeks' time he will be making his return to the White House. And that means that any agreements that are reached about the climate, or indeed any other matter here, could easily be torn up by him come January. So, for example, Joe Biden yesterday announced a record $4 billion for the World Bank's International Development Fund, and he also pledged on Sunday $50 million extra dollars for the Amazon Fund to protect the Amazon rainforest. However, it's highly unlikely that Trump is going to honor any of these pledges made by his predecessor. Now, although these talks on the climate crisis have not yet started here this morning, the final joint declaration by G20 members has already been published, and there's disappointment that it doesn't go further when it comes to the climate crisis. So even though the members talk about scaling up financing to combat climate change, there's no talk about how much or even by what date that would happen. And they also make no reference to the need to phase out fossil fuels, even though the title of this meeting this morning is the transition to clean energies. Now, also in that final joint statement are references to two other spectres looming over the G20. Those are the wars in Ukraine and in Gaza. With Ukraine, there's no condemnation of Russia, as was hoped for by European leaders. They merely say that the members reaffirmed the positions they took at the UN Security Council and the General Assembly. And with Gaza, again, no condemnation of Israel. However, they do state their unwavering commitment to a two-state solution, something that Israel is opposed to, and also the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination.
I know, Jan, that the G20 has not wrapped up yet. Today is the final day, but yesterday the group photo was taken and the US president was missing. Where was Joe Biden?
Yes, absolutely. That tradition of the family photo returned after a 2-year absence, and it was without Joe Biden, as you say, also without Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, and without the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. Now, apparently, Trudeau and Biden were in a bilateral meeting, so they only turned up to the family photo a few minutes after it was taken. No one's really sure why Giorgia Meloni was late, but the fact is it's rather an embarrassment for Brazil. The White House has blamed it on logistical issues, but the fact is this is really quite a telling sign of how the world is already beginning to look beyond Joe Biden and preparing itself for that imminent return of Trump to the White House.
Indeed. Jan, thank you so much. Jan Onoszko reporting there for us from Rio de Janeiro.